Ronda Rousey might be the baddest person on the planet. The problem, though, was, so a bunch of us wanted to go watch the fight. Thought the fight was going to be at like 10 o'clock. Fight didn't happen until like 1:30, but and then 30 seconds later it was over at 1:30. But, yeah, pretty impressive. He reminds me of like the Mike Tyson when Mike, he'd enter the ring and you knew you were going to get crushed. But yeah, that was fun. But that's what you do in camp. You do one of those type of things, get a chance to go out with the coaches and things. So I took that opportunity, but I did expect to be home a lot earlier. But with that being said, I thought practice today was good. First day of pads is always fun. You get, you finally, it looks like football. Finally, it really does. It looks like football. Today we install a lot of 46 stuff, that type of defense, and when you do that, a lot of mistakes usually happen on offense, and that happened a little bit today. But overall, I was pleased. I was pleased with the effort. I liked the way we carried our pads for the first time. And, some of these guys, John, we looked at Miller. We talked about him, how John would probably be out a couple of days, whatever. He just stepped right in, was only supposed to do individual. Got through individually. He's ready to go in team. So that's good to see. You want those guards and your offensive linemen to be tough. And so he pushed through, looked good. John Connor tweaked a hamstring, so that's probably about a week. He'll probably be a week. And I know that really disappoints him because he loves the hitting part of it. He's not so much on the non-pad days, running routes and all that. This is his baby, and so he's really disappointed, I'm sure. And then Thigpen had a little thing, shouldn't be that big a deal, little tightness. He should be fine, probably by tomorrow. Other than that, we made it through pretty good. Go ahead.
Larson, Burton, Carpenter, can you update on any of those things?
No, they're just pushing through things, and hopefully, we're making sure that they're ready to come back. Though we don't want it to be a reoccurring thing. So, Carpenter was making sure that he showed me that he's got the blood on the back of the hamstring. I'm like, dude, what are you gonna get out of kicking a football? Like, I don't think you're gonna, you're trying to get out of anything, and stuff. But it was good to see. It was. But nobody does. I mean, everybody knows that you got to be out there to see what you got and things, and nobody's more disappointed than they are.
Coach, when you're dialing up the pressure as much as you were today, are you more focused on how that pressure is executed, or are you curious to see how your offense is reacting to it? What are you focused on a little more there?
The thing that I like to see is I want to challenge our rules. So, we're not game planning against ourselves or anything else, and but I want to challenge them. And so when the offense makes a little adjustment, I adjust back with them to make our guys, hey, this is how it goes. You're trading, things and stuff. But I sometimes want to do it to make sure I still got it. But no, it's more. I really want to see. Obviously, it's what we do defensively, but I want to see our offense, and rule out things, and we'll challenge them. And I think there was a little of that today.
And then to go ahead and get Jerome Felton and then John Connor. I mean, the fullback is a position that is almost an afterthought these days. For you guys to go and get two of them, your philosophy behind that?
I think first off, when we got Felton, Jerome was, I thought he's right up there with the best fullbacks in the game. And so it was an opportunity for us to get a player that will use the fullback position and one of the top guys, if not the top, in this league. So it's a great opportunity for us to get him. John, we weren't planning on bringing John Connor in. However, when he was still out there, it's like, I know he's a good football player, and we want, at the end of the day, we're not worried necessarily about, hey, we're bringing one fullback, you're going to bring this or this. We want the best 53. And I think John will challenge for a position on this team, and that's why we brought him in.
How has LaShawn's Justin been to running behind him?
Well, yeah, you're exactly right. He didn't. But you go back to his college days, and he had a fullback in front of him. So LaShawn's the type of guy, it doesn't matter. He can have a fullback in front of him. You can, not. He can run zone. He can run gap schemes, inside, outside. He's a he makes some cuts today. It's like, whew, like, wow. One of the first plays we did, we got him one-on-one on the corner. I'm like, that's not good for the defense, you know what I mean? But it's good for us. But I can't wait to watch him. And I know every time I see him, the way he runs, it just, it scares you to death, because he's got that ball swinging. But for some reason, he takes care of it. But that's always a concern, you know what I mean? But it's amazing how he'll protect that ball when it comes into when he's getting hit, because he's not a fumbler, So, but Anthony Lynn today, like he always does, first day of padded practice, he gets up, he shows the entire offense how to carry the football. He'd go over tapes on how many fumbles there were. There was over 550 fumbles last year, where if you go back 10 years ago, there was like 200. But it just shows that there's an emphasis by the league and how to play on defense, how you attack the football on defense. And then maybe it hasn't been a point of emphasis, but for us it certainly is a point of emphasis, and Anthony does a great job of that.
As a throwback kind of football guy, do you feel a team might be incomplete without a fullback?
Well, especially for what we do offensively. I mean, you can certainly get by. They have these hybrids or whatever. But man, I like that smash mouth guy, and in short yardage situation, a guy you can give the fullback, let him carry it, or he leads. And I still think it's still a part of football, and a guy that can you want to be a physical football team. I like having that fullback.
Speaking of physical, you did some one-on-ones today too. You get the pads on. What was your? I don't know if you were. I know you were kind of all over the place.
Right.
But what was your sense of how those went?
Well, Vic, that's the ADHD in me, but I watched a lot of the stock blocking. So I watched the wideouts versus the corners. I've never seen it before, but Sammy Watkins took somebody off his feet in a stock block drill. So this just in, Sammy can do everything. All right. So, I mean, I've never seen it. I mean, he literally lifted the guy up off his feet and drove him back like 10 yards. I've never seen it in all the years of coaching. So that was impressive. But it's physical. When you get into that, those guys go at it, and it's important. The defense has to set an edge, and they got to get off blocks. And our wideouts, especially with the talent that we have in the backfield, you've got to have that stick and stay. So you got to attack it, and you got to stick. When that guy moves, you got to be in a position where you can drive him where he wants to go and not let him get off. And so it's really that was competitive. I know I talked to Terry, and he was down there watching the one-on-ones, and he was impressed with with John, with Miller especially today. So that's always good to see. I watch him. Here's who he's going against every day: Kyle Williams, Marcel Darius, and by the way, Mario Williams, when we reduce down to that 46. So a game's going to be like a picnic to him unless we're playing Houston. You got J.J. Watt or something. But other than that, I don't know how much better it's going to get than what we throw at him every day.
Are you going to stay in pads tomorrow night?
Yes. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yep, fans will be out here. Hopefully the weather holds off. But if it doesn't, we're on the turf, and, shoot, you guys will be all right.
Last couple of days, I noticed the base defense basically, Manny standing up, Jerry down, kind of like a defensive tackle, actually, next to Marcel. What does that do to a defense? Is that like the 46 look you're talking about?
Yeah, that 46 will reduce one of those big ends down, and one of them will play outside back, or one of them will reduce down as a tackle. So that's what we've been doing. We're flexible. It's not that, I think people anticipated us, playing this guy at Sam or whatever. Now we're going to put our best out there, but one of them's an in, one of them's an outside back, and you got to figure out which is, who's who. So it kind of works to our favor. Manny Lawson has the same skill set. So, I kind of like what we're doing.
Scary, huh?
I think so. It looks pretty good to me.
How tough is it to evaluate some of these young offensive linemen when they do have to go against?
But that's what you're going to face in the league. That's what you're going to face if you go to the Pro Bowl. So I guess that's what we're evaluating. But you know what? That's it. It's a great challenge. And if you can man up on those guys and do the job, then you're way ahead of the game.
You get a good look at Cyrus Vaughn overall today.
I like the way he's playing. I really do. And I've been impressed with him. And like I said, I've also been impressed with Chantrell Henderson. Really impressed with him. I mean, obviously he's a big guy, gets a lot of movement in the running game. So it's you know, we got two good options right there, and that's what you want. You know, we picked up this other tackle, and Scott was saying, well, they might want to talk to you about him. I go, I don't know anything about him, but he's big. You know, I'm not expecting an Anthony Munoz, but we'll see. He does have some size and things, so you know, we'll see how it goes.
Just talking about who Miller is, obviously you guys have this how does this division stack up?
I don't think. I mean, it's hard to imagine anybody would have a better group of linemen that we're going to face. I mean, you mentioned Sue. You got the two good ends there too, you know, in Miami, and then the Jets are loaded. So it's you know, it's pretty good. New England, you know, they always have competitive guys, well-coached guys. So, but we'll see. But you know what? The other two are better.
I know you passed the rotation on the offensive line. So talking with Henderson at right tackle, you've had Richardson at right guard.
Yep.
Against center today. Is that are those starting jobs?